Yo!
What is up, everyone? I'm Patrick.
I'm Marthe.
And Marthe and I had a big disagreement because I recently did a video talking about Medallion Architectures and how I think they are just extremely overbuilt, but I don't think we need this silver layer. And because of my brilliance, Marthe did say I was brilliant in her video.
You know, let's face it, Patrick is brilliant.
I'm confident that we don't need it.
Well, and then I am just going to say that I disagree.
Of course. Well, let's talk about it. Why am I wrong, Marthe?
Oh, okay, you want to go right in. Well, let me tell you.
Yes, I do.
If you are just pulling data in and going straight into that gold layer, you are going to do all the same transformations and cleanups again and again and again. And you're just moving and pushing all of that potential chaos closer towards the reports and the analytics at the end. You're just going to create more chaos and more duplication.
All right, Marthe. I think we should just kind of debate this because I've got a couple of reasons why I think most teams are overbuilding with silver. Just hear me out before you cut me off, or get into all your fancy silver. Every time you add a layer, you create what I like to call a boundary. And that boundary, it needs someone to own this. So for example, when you go bronze, silver, gold, that's not just flow, that's responsibility. And it's funny, I went to dinner with Marco recently, Marco Russo. If you don't know who Marco Russo is, you probably shouldn't be thinking about data or anything like that. Marco and I agreed, people start building out these layers, but nobody can answer two questions. Who owns the silver layer? Who's responsible for it? But then Marco added something to my two questions. He goes, but why do we need it, Patrick? Because every time you materialize this data, you create this handoff and someone has to own this handoff. If nobody doesn't, I said this in my first video, that layer just becomes like just some ceremony.
Okay, fair enough. That's a really, really good point, Patrick. And I agree with you. I agree with Marco, who, you can't disagree with Marco really, but you cannot have a silver layer if you do not have that boundary, if you do not have the responsibility. You can't just drop data off and be like, yes, cool, now I have my layer, but no one cares about it, owns that data. That's what I'm talking about all the time because I'm a data governance person, of course. But if the alternative is to just skip it all together and go straight into gold, you are missing the opportunity to start thinking of your data as building blocks that you can reuse across your different domains. Because you might have different business domains out there, different domains in the gold layer. If you, for instance, are thinking about transaction data, you're pulling in the transaction data, dumping it into the raw layer, that's just the data assets. But then you have two use cases for that transaction data. You have finance wanting to do something fancy with that data, and you also have sales wanting to monitor some sales performance on that data. Both of them should probably standardize on column names, maybe on the data format itself, maybe on some missing data, like checking the data quality. What if we have null values? What should we have there? Should it be unknown instead? If you do not standardize on that in the silver layer, you will have finance and sales doing that, but maybe in slightly different ways. You're duplicating logic. And you are creating something that is then not reusable across anything else because you've built it into something that's only answering that one business use case.
Here's what I see. And I'm just going to say this. I've been doing this a very long time.
Oh, very, very long time.
Very, very long time. And in your perfect little bubble that you live in, most teams aren't doing that. They're not building a reusable standardization layer. All they're doing is just cleaning up the data, doing some joins, doing some transformations, and then they call this the silver layer. And so now you've added this silver layer, and this is just my opinion, Marthe. This is my very, very long experienced opinion. They're not adding any value. So my second point, and I get what you're saying. I do. Not every data set, every data engineering solution, every data model requires or justifies 3 layers. If your data is stable, structured, and it comes from a single or maybe 2 teams, a small set of teams, and you have a few number of use cases, I just need to understand, why are you doing bronze, silver, gold?
Again, Patrick, these are really, really good points. And I've learned that I should respect, my seniors, and I do respect their opinion. all jokes aside, this is really, really good point. But if you're thinking bigger than that, if you're thinking for scalability, complex environments, bunch of different sources from all types of different solutions, then you want to do that standardization on the silver layer and have those building blocks. And you can always change your setup. If you are starting simple, go straight from bronze to gold. And then the second you get a different use case and you actually need to use that same data in different ways, maybe you do want to add a layer, silver layer for those specific data use cases. You can always go back and change this. It doesn't have to be set in stone from the beginning.
I think this is where you and I actually can finally agree. Architecture is not about layers.
And it's not about patterns either.
It's more about what responsibility am I trying to enforce? Because if that's not clear,
then I guess you're not architecting, you're just adding layers.
So the real question, are you team simplify or are you team standardize?
Standardize. Silver layer or no silver layer? Let us know where in the comments below.
And if you want to learn more about Fabric, Power BI, architecture, AI, there's probably a video flying above my head.
As always, thank you so much for watching from Adam, Patrick, and this guy right here. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.